The question that always drives me hazy, am I or the others crazy? A famous quote by Einstein, which I'm beginning to believe the answer to that question is everyone else is crazy. I don't know what other conclusion to come to. I am either the people I'm dealing with lately are either crooked, stupid, or I don't even know what other word to come up with to describe. All I can do is explain to you the crap I've been fucking dealing with. Like, for instance, let's start out with, I had to go to the Social Security office this week, and because no matter how hard I try to get there early enough to make it in to the door, the front doors, in the first group of people so that I'm not wasting 6 hours waiting and losing work hours, because when I would show up early, there'd be like maybe 5-10 people in front of me in line waiting for like an hour for the place to open up, and within a half hour there's suddenly 50 to 100 people in front of me because everybody's cousins and brothers and sisters and aunts and uncles are all showing up, meeting the people that are in front of me in line and getting in line with them. So I decide I'm gonna at least try to get in on this action, but I'm gonna do it the honest way. And I put an ad out to hire somebody to stand in line for me earlier so that I can, get in. So I paid somebody to go stand in line for me, and the same shit happened. It doesn't matter how early you get there because everybody else has got plans, and unless you want to get into a fist fight with somebody, nobody's going to say anything to anybody. And then I have a discussion with the security guard who's there, who happens to be African American, and he sees that I am, the only white person there, and he's one of the only African Americans there, including people that are coming in. And he tells me that even the Mexican guards don't want to work there because the people there run the show, and if you get in their way, and I'm like, so I show up, I get in line. When I got out of my car, I had a winning scratch ticket in my back pocket. It was like a $55 winner. And it was in my back pocket, the big bingo ones. I have men's jeans on, so the back pocket's fairly large. And it's probably sticking out just a little bit so you can actually see what it is. So anyways, my point is, it's in my back pocket before I get in line. And then, what do you know, as I'm going to get into the front of the door, I stick my phone in my pocket, and where's my card? It's gone. So some motherfucker stole the damn ticket out of my pocket when we were standing in line. Do you think if I was Mexican they would have stole it from me? No. And I say this because this is the kind of racist shit that I deal with in my neighborhood all day long, every day. I am not a racist person. I treat everybody equally, but it is apparent to me that I am not wanted in the hood. I am not liked in the hood. Doesn't matter who I am, but the color of my skin. Nobody wants anything to do with me or my daughter at school. They steal from my daughter. I send her to school with a nice jacket. She doesn't come home with a nice jacket. And nobody knows anything about anything, and nobody does anything about it. Then she gets a soup thermos stolen out of her lunchbox. I finally decide, after getting sweaters and sweatshirts and the nice jacket I just mentioned stolen and not come home, that I'm going to finally bring the issue to the office. Oh yeah, the principal's going to call me back, right? I don't get a phone call, but then 2 days later, the thermos mysteriously shows up. I still don't get a phone call. No. But I got a phone call at the beginning of the year by the principal, who decided he was going to call me to let me know that I needed to try harder at getting my daughter to school. Excuse me, what the hell are you talking about? Most of her absences are excused with a doctor's note. Oh, but that doesn't matter because in LAUSD, even when you're absent with a doctor's note, it still counts as an absent. So it still goes against her. So, anyways, despite that shit, I'm walking to school to go get my daughter, and I'm walking on the sidewalk, and every single person that I come to that's walking in the other direction assumes that I'm going to walk over to the side, which I do, because if I don't, they're going to walk into me. And I know this because I actually tried to keep my ground one day. I decided, you know what, I have every right to walk on this sidewalk as everybody else, so I'm going to stay in my position and I'm not going to step aside. Well, what do you know? I got walked into twice. Literally, walked into. And almost a fucking fight. But the person in front of me that was walking, they moved aside for them. And the person behind me was walking, and they moved aside for them. Don't tell me that's not racist bullshit. You move aside for your family, but you don't move aside for the white girl in the hood. Yeah, fuck you, man. Fucking call your friends to move your car so you can park in my spot. And then you scratch the hood on my car, intentionally. You think I don't fucking know what people are doing? Think I'm stupid? So, and that's not the only issue. Everybody so far that I've dealt with today has been backwards. All week, I've been calling pods because I have a pods unit in my backyard that I've been packing, been trying to move. And because I didn't intend to have it as long as I did, I've had to make payments. So I talked to the manager, and she says that she'll take me off the instant pay so I can make the payments. So it's coming up time for the payments, and I make 2 phone calls. Actually 3. 1, I left a message with the manager, and 2, I talked to other pods people to make sure that the payment wasn't not going to go through my account, that I was going to call instead and make the payment on a different card. 3 times I made calls to confirm this. Today, I went to make the payment, and they took it out of my bank. The wrong card. So, another example of people out doing their job. Then, of course, my brakes. Take my car to this mobile station, a little mechanic station, and I asked them, can you do my brake pads? My maintenance light came on, and Toyota wants to charge me an arm and a leg. So, sure. I drive off. Immediately, my brakes are squeaking. Not a whole lot, but they're squeaking, so I'm a little troubled. I'm thinking, maybe they just need to be worn in. So then as the weeks go by, it more and more and more. Now, I work for Uber. I can't have my car be squeaking every time I brake. So I go bring it to them, and I'm like, look, man, it's squeaking. I just got these brakes like a month ago. I said, look, I did my own research. I checked into the brakes. They probably got the cheap ones. And there's like 3 different kinds. The cheap ones, the ceramic ones, and then the ultra great ceramic ones. So I says to the guy, look, what will you charge me if I go get the better brakes and you put them on for me? He's like, all right, I'll only charge you $30. Well, I shouldn't have to be going and paying any more anyway. But regardless, I want to get it done right, so I got to go do the work and hold their fucking hands. So I bring it back to them today with the brakes. They take it out and they see that it's squeaking like every single time you apply on the brakes, no matter how heavy or light, and the entire way. So the guy's like, oh, well, what probably happened was he probably didn't clean the rotors before he put the brake pads on, because when you get new brake pads, you're supposed to clean the rotors. I said, okay, so can you fix them so they don't squeak, or do I need to put the new ones on? And I decided to have put the new ones on, but now they're going to charge me an extra $40 to clean the rotors. And I says to the guy, why am I being charged for this new thing that should have been done when I brought the brakes in? Oh, well, they didn't charge you for that. I said, well, why not? Isn't that something that you're supposed to do when you put new brake pads on? Yeah, but it's an extra $40. I'm like, okay, fine. Well, then charge me the extra $40 when I bring the car in and tell you to do my brakes. Why should I have to check with you to make sure that each step that might cost a little extra is done, so that's done properly? Oh, well, I don't know why, All right, so let me ask you this. Why are you charging me more money to clean the rotors when I paid you the money? I can't, and he's like, oh, he keeps saying the same answer. I'm like, let me tell you this, okay? You're the mechanic, I'm the customer. When I call or when I come and say, can you do my brakes? How much does it cost? And you say yes, and you give me a price, I am under the impression, and it's reasonable for me to expect that when I drive away, that the job's going to be done correctly and that I'm not going to be hearing squeaking, right? Okay, but they didn't clean. All right, but that's their problem. Okay, I brought it in. I said, do my brakes. I left. The brakes weren't done properly because they've been squeaking. because they didn't get the rotors clean. Well, then clean the rotors, but why am I being charged for it now? You know, so it's like going around in a circle like a fucking dog chasing its tail with the same damn answer. And I'm thinking, look, man, it's not my responsibility to know the procedure in doing the brakes. It's your responsibility to tell me what the charges are going to be to get the brakes done, not to try to cut corners. Oh, what the fuck is wrong with people? Seriously. Why can't people do their fucking jobs right? And why does everybody have to be a fucking